you've been missing me. I'm back for you. I got a new video. Alesia Michelle, I'm ready to go. Eurovision fam, are you ready for the show? Hey Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle and I'm giving you my breakdown, my review of Eurovision 2018. Now, as you guys know, I was in Lisbon, Portugal. I have some great videos of my time there, so please subscribe to my channel. Check out those videos because I had a dope time. But I'm back home, here in America. Yes, I am your favorite American Eurovision fan. Yeah, I said it. Favorite. Today I'm going to be giving my review of the 2018 Eurovision Song Contest, the grand final. So I'm going to be giving you all my thoughts. Now, I did do a live stream, so you should definitely check that out. Yes, it's super long, but I'm giving you my in the moment responses, and you should just scroll through that. It's not just me. I made some awesome friends in Lisbon, Portugal, and they're on the live stream too. All right, let me start off and do some general overhead stuff. Let's talk about the host. Now, we had some dope women hosting, and it was cool. It was nice to see some women on stage. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the host this year didn't really have tough shoes to fill, because in theory the hosts last year were not that good. Even though I kind of liked some of the corny jokes, I was into them. This is no shade to the hosts themselves, because I actually don't think that this is their fault, but the script, whoever was responsible for writing the jokes and the script for Eurovision 2018 should never write a script for any type of live show where there need to be jokes that actually are funny. The jokes were beyond cheesy. They really weren't that funny, and the way that the jokes were kind of set up, it made you sort of laugh at the host. And sometimes you didn't even do that. It just was kind of huh? Was that what we were supposed to be doing? I will say I think that Filomena was dope, great, charismatic. Her styling was good every single time we watched it. And Daniela Rua, I liked her styling as well. And I think if they had just had Daniela and Filomena, it would have been fine, because you would have had Daniela could have played straight-laced, let's get back to business. And then Filomena could have been fun and chatty with folks. The little bit of time that I had to interact with SuRie, we could have just put SuRie in the green room. She's charismatic, she's fun. I think she would have been fine chatting with the artists and stuff, because she is a Eurovision alum. And I think that would have been a better formula. No shade to the two other hosts. I just didn't think that this was for them. The scripts weren't doing them any favors, so it's not really their fault as much as whoever was part of that writing team, because the script was not good. Now, I will say, I actually really liked the interval acts. I think some people didn't like the interval acts. In particular, I want to call out, was it Dino de Santiago? To me, in my mind, I just was Portugal, why haven't you sent a song like this? If you had sent that song this year, you probably wouldn't have even finished last, honestly. Next year at Festival de Canção, I think you should consider giving us something with some Afro-Carib vibes, because it was good. It was standout, and you would be unique at Eurovision next year. Also, I would just say, because yes, I was in Lisbon, you can watch my video of me kind of going around Lisbon. I had a really great time, but kind of some housekeeping things. I did feel the fact that they had Euro Fan Cafe and Euro Club separate, I thought that was a mistake. I don't think that they should ever consider doing that again, because I think both venues ended up suffering on a level, and I just think there's something to be said for just keeping everyone kind of united and together. And then what you do is you can split up the venue itself and maybe say okay, if you have this type of accreditation, you get to go over here. I think that would make more sense than to have them completely separated, and not just completely separated, but not even really convenient walking distance in heels. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a girl, I got heels, I can't Uber everywhere. Also, they didn't have Euro Club open the entire time of rehearsals and then the shows, and so it was only that last week, which I thought was a mistake personally. I would have loved to have had more time to meet some of you guys, to interact, to just like kind of take a break and be around my Eurovision family. And maybe this is just me because I am American. Like, this is my time period to like hang out and talk Eurovision, and I didn't have a lot of time to do that. I just think that that was a missed opportunity and it could have been better. All right, now let's talk about the show because I've already talked too much. Let me just go back and let's talk about our host country, Portugal. Portugal came last, and you know, I think the song was a little bit ambient. It was a little atmospheric, and I think that that was fine. I thought the styling was immaculate. The styling was absolutely perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. I don't know. I think that if Portugal wasn't hosting, I do think they would have gotten more points personally. But I am going to say this. I did think to myself, maybe this should have just been Claudia on stage. Maybe Azura shouldn't have come out at all. I don't know. I kind of want y'all to tell me in the comments why you thought Portugal came last, because I think they suffered more so from host country syndrome than there being something really wrong happening on stage. I'm going to go right ahead and say that Finland coming 25th to me is a crime. I don't know what that is about at all. I don't know what that is about at all. I cannot. There was nothing wrong with that performance. There was nothing wrong with the vocal. I can understand something being someone's, like, not someone's cup of tea, but there were songs that finished higher that were not as high impact and had issues on stage, had legitimate issues, had vocal issues. This is just not okay. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about Slovenia. Y'all know I love that song. I was just happy to see it in the final. I think Slovenia, even though it finished, you know, in the bottom half and in the bottom 5, I still think that Slovenia can be happy with this finish because it was a great song and it deserved to be in the final from my perspective. I think it was unique. I think it was fun and it was clean and polished on stage. And look, Slovenia, I'm checking for y'all next year. I want to see what you guys do next year because I think it's going to be dope. I'm excited. Now I'm going to talk about the UK. So I already told y'all before I knew the UK was going to finish in the bottom 5. We knew that. And even with the stage invader, I was a little bit like, like I wonder if this will help SuRie out a little bit. But look, the issue with the UK, it's the song choice. They're not picking the right songs. And it's sad and it's unfortunate because I think that they could have something more impactful. And I know people say what they want to say about Asanda not really vocally delivering for that national selection. But I'm telling you right now, Legends would not have finished bottom 5. It just wouldn't have finished bottom 5. And Asanda wouldn't have gotten to Eurovision and had the vocal issues that she would have had. Boo Boo would have been in boot camp singing that song on a treadmill and getting them vocal pipes up. Like, that wasn't what was going to happen. And SuRie is a great performer. I think she's dope. I didn't think the song was bad. I just didn't think it was impactful enough this year at Eurovision because this year was a really tough year. But Legends was just a stronger song. And maybe if they dropped the key of Legends like maybe 2 octaves, SuRie could have sung it and maybe not finished bottom 5. While I'm still talking about SuRie, I know there's like a petition saying like, oh, they should let her like represent the UK again. I don't agree with that. Not that SuRie's a bad performer, but I just think, no, let's move on. Next year, we're going to have a new batch of performers with new songs, and I'm excited to see those new performers and hear those new songs. I don't think SuRie needs to come back. I will say this, though. If you saw my live stream of the UK, well, of the grand final, I was shook after that person came on stage. And I'm not gonna lie, like, as a person who had to go through security checks and everything like that because I had accreditation, I'm not gonna lie, like, I felt really uncomfortable at times with some of the security checks because, like, if I go through a metal detector, like, I don't really feel like I need to be patted down anymore. Like, that's not what happens when I get on a flight. And I live in Washington, D.C., and I've gone into government offices, seeing Congress members up close and personal. And for me, I did feel like the security was excessive, but clearly not excessive enough, because that man could have gone on stage and snapped her neck. And I was really concerned. Like that it was scary. It was scary. I wish that the EBU would have maybe put a pause in the program after what happened to SuRie, because I'm not gonna lie, I needed a minute to collect myself, because my stomach dropped, because in my mind I'm like, is this some coordinated attack? I was scared. I was scared for her safety. I was scared for people in the arena. I was scared for those of us who were next door in the press area. I was scared, and I just felt like in the future, if you have something like that happen, it's okay to pause the program and maybe run a commercial, show a video, and maybe that's a showrunner thing, that you need to be prepared that if something like that happens. Now, I will say, last year with Jamala, where the guy got up on stage and, pulled his pants down, that's totally different. Like, I didn't really need a moment after that. I just was like, damn, like, why is this man, like, getting naked on stage? Like, this is embarrassing. Like, and this is not funny. I don't think that this is a joke. Like, I don't think that this is funny. But what happened to SuRie, where you have someone walk on the stage, come this close to a person to grab a microphone out of their hand and bump her to the side, that's a problem. That's a problem. And someone needs to work something out to make sure that that never happens again, because even if he didn't have a weapon, he could have got up there and snapped her neck, period. Let's talk about Sweden coming so low in the televote. I am surprised by that. I thought that the televote would really like this song, because I think the song is very radio friendly. I think that it was performed very well. I thought the staging was cool. I don't know, maybe the staging was too different from what was happening with the other acts. But I hate to say that, because I'm just like, to me, the staging was inventive. It was good. Most of my friends from the United States who saw that staging stopped, watched, and were like, this is a winner. I don't know. Like, are y'all just hating? Because I feel like y'all might be hating. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. Now, I will say this. I do think Benjamin's vocal could have been stronger. I will say that. If I gave any note to Sweden, Benjamin's vocal was not as strong as it could have been and probably should have been. I wonder if the vocal was at play, because I don't think it was the staging. I think the staging was just right. I think the song was right enough. But that vocal, because it was such a falsetto performance, maybe they needed someone who was a little bit more comfortable in that vocal range. Maybe. Australia, though, while we're talking about televote scores, Australia came last in the televote. And real talk, I don't really have many issues with that, because the song was generic. The staging I didn't think was the best fit for her. I think the styling could have been better, even though I didn't hate the dress. It was something about the dress that also seemed like it wasn't right for her. A good dress, but maybe not for her. I don't know. I mean, Australia, Guy Sebastian was good. Dami Eam was really good. Jessica Mauboy's a great performer. But let's be real, Boo Boo was pitchy. She was really pitchy. She was pitchy every time I heard her sing, / not even hitting some of them notes. And maybe for people who are watching in the arena, they heard something different. I feel like when I was in the arena for semifinal 1, the sound was different. But when you were sat watching it on TV, the mistakes, every single little mistake, every single slight bum note, even a rasp where there's not supposed to be a rasp, is kind of magnified. And honestly, I think what hurt Australia this year was that the song was just too generic. It sounded like a typical Eurovision song. And then on top of that, you had her vocally not elevating it in the way that she could have elevated it. Let's talk about Italy. Italy was 5th in the televote. And it's funny because I think I always had Italy higher than France. And I said that because I did feel like Italy's song was slightly stronger, I was curious about how the staging would go. And this is where I differ from, I think, a lot of like the Eurovision bloggers and press folks, where they didn't really like what Italy was doing staging wise. And I personally felt like what Italy did staging wise made the song more impactful. The song is all in Italian, and to have the words appear allowed people to connect to the song a little bit more. Whereas I think with a country like France, it was hard to connect to it if you don't know French. And yes, some of the words are catchy, and you know merci, you know what merci means, and you know mercy. But I think overall, you're just watching the performance, kind of waiting for something to pull you in. And I just don't think that staging ever pulled any general folks in who haven't been listening to the songs all season long. Obviously, you guys know I love France's song, but I did think that Italy finishing as high as it did, I was really happy to see that, because I did think that they did a lot right. I guess I should talk about Ukraine flopping with the jury. Honestly, I wasn't really surprised by that, because I told you guys all along that it was the song about nothing. It was just a mixture of words put together, and there was really no meaning. Like, to this day, I have looked at those lyrics multiple times, and I'm still just like, what are you saying? Like, what are you actually talking about? I hear the words you're saying. Thank you for cleaning up the enunciation, even though I didn't mind the fact that you were singing it with an accent, because English is not your native language, so I don't expect you to sing it perfectly in like perfect, clear English. But the song itself was a song about nothing. Catchy, yes. Staging, great, yes. But I just don't feel like it's a travesty that Malevolent didn't finish higher. I'm okay. Let's talk about Cyprus. Eleni is, to me, going to be the biggest winner, in theory, of Eurovision 2018, because she's got a full career ahead of her at this point. Fuego is an amazing song. It is going to be the Doom Tech Tech of this year. And what does that mean? Whenever people do like these montages of Eurovision, like I always see a clip of Hadsi and like Doom Tech Tech, and the song is just so catchy and honestly has held up time-wise. Like I can still listen to that song. It's still current. And I think Fuego has the opportunity to be that standout performance that's just kind of in the Eurovision history books. I mean, this is the highest Cyprus has ever finished, and I think that they should be proud of that. This was a really, really tough year at Eurovision. I said it all season long. This was a really tough year, and we had some awesome songs. And the fact that Eleni was able to kind of win over a lot of people who were kind of hating on her and saying that she wouldn't be able to rise to the occasion. And Boo Boo did that and more. Like, for real. Everything was just perfection about it. In the end, I mean, even vocally, I had some questions about her vocal. In the end, when she performed on stage, the vocal was tight. The vocal was tight. There wasn't a bum note in sight. Kudos. I guess I should talk about Austria. Look, Austria was great. It was polished. It was clean. It was a good song. I do think it deserves all of the love that it got. But finishing third was a little bit too high for me, personally. I don't think it was top 5. I think it was top 10. But top 3, I don't know. Yeah, like, again, nothing wrong with it. It was good, but I do think we had some stronger songs with some stronger stories. Yeah, and with that said, I'm going on to Germany, which made me cry every single time I saw that song performed, to the point where I had to start, like, walking away from the TV during rehearsals because I was like, I'm not trying to mess up all my makeup. Germany should be really, really proud of themselves. This song, You Let Me Walk Alone, is amazing. Michael Schulte sung the song flawlessly every single time. The staging was just right. And honestly, I could have put Germany a little higher over Austria. I would have put Germany over Austria. I definitely would have. And I think the other reason why I put Germany above Austria is because we do get that personal artist connection to the material, which I think in a song contest that is celebrating songs and songwriters first and foremost, because that's what's in the name. And then secondly, kind of looks at the performance itself and the artist who's delivering it. I mean, this is Michael Schultz's personal story, and you feel that when the song is sung, and the staging again was just right. I guess in closing, I just want to say that there's been a little bit of controversy, I guess, around Israel winning. Look, this was a tough year, and Toy was a strong song. We had a lot of strong songs. Toy happened to be the strong song that won. It deserves to win. Netta deserved to win. I am excited to go to Israel. I don't care where it is going to be held. I will go anywhere in Israel. I don't mind, because guess what? Israel won. It's their opportunity to host, and they won with a song that was catchy. It was in the moment. It was sung well. It was performed well. You had the song of the moment, of the year. You won in a really strong Eurovision year. I'm excited. I will go wherever Israel's going. Eurovision 2019 Israel. It's happening. I'm gonna be there. Are you? Well, those are my thoughts. What do you think? Talk to me in the comments below. If you agree with me, talk to me in the comments below. Do you disagree with me? That's okay too. Talk to me in the comments below. This is a conversation, and yes, 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 I said it again. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Eurovision 2019 Israel. Whoop whoop. Bye.